to the Foyne Jones Show. We're rocking and rolling with season 9. This is going to be episode 4, and we're welcoming Jack back to the studio. He's brought Connor with him today. You all right, gents?
All good, all good, Peter.
All right, so we're going to be talking all things Tradeaze, and we're going to catch up with everyone that we've missed for a little while. So we've got Charlie Hooler, our producer. We've got Charlotte, who's our head of content, recently promoted head of content at Team Foyne Jones.
Woo. Congratulations.
There you go. So we're all back in the studio, and in today's episode, we're going to dive that little bit deeper into your story, gentlemen. You ready for that?
Yeah.
You ready for that? We're going to dive deeper. We're going to get to know you personally, particularly you, Connor, because it's your first time. This is your first time in a podcast, on a podcast?
It certainly is, yeah.
Oh, mate, there you go. Podcast virgin, making your debut.
That's it.
Making your debut. So we've done a pre-match interview already. We're going to move a little bit into the builders merchant industry, because that's really important to me and very close to our heart. We're going to let Charlotte put together a quick fire quiz where she's going to be asking you some questions about your business, and I've got one very special question I want to ask you, Connor. It's a very simple question. It's probably only going to be 2 words, but it's going to be very important. We're going to ask that. We're asking all of the people that come into the studio and join us for the podcast to talk about their dream dinner guests, and we're going to close off the episode. We've given you guys the chance to build on the success you've had so far and talk to our listeners about what's coming next. So everything else will be covered off in conversation. But Jack, let's just pick up. When we were talking before, the business was starting to really roll out. You were going around through your funding, and it was an exciting time. Since then, I've been like your biggest cheerleader. I've watched a journey on social. I've watched it from a distance, and everywhere I go, I hear people from the builders merchant community talking really good things. You know, could be the director population, could be the branch manager population, but you're certainly making things happen. So let's just go back to the uneducated, in case anyone, and I'm sure they didn't, Charlie. I'm sure they didn't miss the first episode. But let's talk about the business, what it is, what you do. And let's talk about the story so far, mate. Over to you.
Yeah, so, I mean, Tradeaze is a logistics platform for builders merchants, ultimately, on demand logistics. You know, the problem we're solving, if you're talking to transport guys, we're there as a lean on, an elastic fleet that they can just tap into so that they can scale their fleets up and down. They will hit seasonalities, where the lorries are probably really busy and not busy. So we're a good partner to have there. And then, if I was talking to the sales guys, not the transport team, it's there to capture extra sales that they wouldn't have got, and they'd have probably turned away. Again, not, it's too capex intensive to have loads of vans waiting in the yard looking, for reactive sales. But with Tradeaze, it's actually turned into a verb now. We can Tradeaze it to you, so they can offer it to their customers, and their customers will pay it, right? So that's what we do. We're essentially like Uber, but for the construction industry. Loads of freelance guys in trucks and all size vans and motorbikes as well.
But it's like a growing spider web. It's getting bigger and bigger.
It is,
like everything seems to be getting bigger. But interestingly, and what was so powerful for me when we last spoke was how it begun.
Yeah.
And I go back to a part of the world which is my home, Fulham, and Dawes Road, Fulham. Yeah. That's something. Charlotte, Charlotte's from Fulham as well. Yeah. So there's a Fulham mafia. It's not a prerequisite to work at Foyne Jones, but it does help. Do you know what I mean? If you follow the team, but coming from working on the tools, did you ever envisage it would explode like it has?
I mean, I had and still do big ambitions, so I didn't start it because I thought it was going to be a small company. I always believed in it, and I'm very fortunate that it's going in the right direction. I mean, you mentioned a minute ago about where we were when we last spoke. We were going through that fundraising. At the time, I think we were only targeting a couple of million. We've now raised 3 million to date, which is good. And that's what you call your seed funding round. And that was us proving that we could acquire customers, onboard drivers, and we've done that. We're now positioning ourselves for another funding round. But since then, I think we were just just in London. We're just dealing with vans. We're now dealing with HGVs. We've gone nationwide. Right now, a huge focus on the Midlands, really. We're going, the Midlands is getting a bit of love from us right now, so we're doubling down quite hard there. But, we're all over the country, nearly 2,000 drivers on the platform.
Do you want to take my hat when you're up in the Midlands, mate? Because, do you know what I mean? It's Peaky Blinders territory. You might be able to influence a few people. Hearts and minds. There you go, Connor. Get a couple of these on your barnet and away you go.
It's going well. It's all going in the right direction. We've come a long way since.
I mean, obviously, the UK is full of areas. It's full of demographics. It's full of accents. It's full of personalities. The markets are different. Do you see changes? You're working with a merchant in Kent. You're working with a merchant in Sussex. You're working with a merchant in Surrey. You've got someone who's South London, North London. Yeah. Is it different demands, different pressures?
Obviously the density of the city does make a huge difference, but then you're out in the sticks, the problem becomes different. So in the city, people 1 mile down the road can take 45 minutes. When you're out in the sticks, it's the nearest merchant's 10 miles away, so it's still inconvenient. It's still going to take your time, or you just don't know where it is. So there's still demand out there. And we're naturally, we're in Brighton today. We've sort of organically growing down, through Surrey and Sussex, through customers asking us to, really. And there's demand there. You're getting branches out in the middle of nowhere ordering quite a few times a day. It doesn't. Yeah, you could be anywhere and there could still be a real busy branch, especially with all these developments going up in the middle of nowhere. The countryside, and you've now got blocks and blocks of big houses and flats and whatever going up, effectively creating new towns.
I think as well from my side, and don't worry, I'm bringing you in a second. Don't worry, but I think I've seen the builders merchant landscape really change and really evolve. And one of the pressures that lots of the customers I speak to are under, it's controlling costs, it's controlling overheads, it's being on top of that. So where some of the sites are running leaner and meaner, having someone on standby like what you're talking about, let's Tradeaze that, having that there as an option which your customer can, I guess, choose to have or not have, that's got to be worth its weight in gold. So that's got to be powerful. So I see the market, I see what you're doing, and I congratulate you on what you've raised so far and what you've achieved. Let's, if we can, Jack, bring in the gentleman to your right. Connor, welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you very much.
What do you do? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Connor, and I head up the business development side of Tradeaze. So it's very much, customer focused, building relationships with new merchants, maintaining relationships with existing merchants. So a standard day in my life looks like, running demos of the platform, showing them the features and how it works, having conversation with decision makers, and trying to sell the idea of Tradeaze to them, and showing how we can add value to their business. That's pretty much what I do. I do a lot of time on the road. Like Jack said, we're not just London.
Do you sleep in that van?
All over the place.
Do you sleep in it, mate?
I should set a mattress up in the back.
You should get him a trendy camper, mate. I could see him in a nice trendy Scooby-Doo camper, couldn't you?
A lot of travelling involved. But it's fun. I enjoy it, and we're making movements, so it's all going well.
And what was your background before joining the business?
I actually met Jack through the job that we were both doing previous. So we're both electricians by trade. I'm sure Jack mentioned that on the
still
previous
keep your
podcast.
hand in?
Do what?
You still keep your hand in, a bit of sparky in there?
Not really. I get forced to do things around the house.
This weekend, wasn't I?
I was doing a bit of plumbing this weekend at home. But,
How'd that go?
Not very well.
Couple of leaks.
It was all right. Yeah, it was all right.
But like I said, both electricians. We've done our apprenticeships together.
Oh, nice.
So we were at a company called Boone. How long were you there? 6 years, 7 years?
No, I've literally done my apprenticeship and left, so like 4 years.
Oh, not long at all then.
You did the off, mate.
Yeah, he did. But that's where I got all my experience on the tools and sort of in the construction industry. We done commercial, industrial, house bashing, like the domestic side of things, and that's pretty much where I started. I know the products to an extent. So it's quite easy to talk to a builder's merchant and electrical wholesalers. They appreciate that I've been there and done it.
I think having that, being on the site, so being, one of the most unique ways to sell something, I was taught at a very young age, was to understand your customer's customer.
Yeah.
If you understand what your customer's customer wants and what your customer's customer needs, you can actually really structure the whole conversation. I'll let you into a secret, and probably some of my old bosses would agree. I went from the yard to sales director in builders merchants, and I was not that good with product knowledge. I genuinely wasn't. It was never a strength of mine. What I was able to do was build relationships with individuals that had amazing product knowledge, and I would lean into that. So I think that no merchant is going to want you to know 100,000 products and their average market price, but actually if you can solve a problem when someone on site is screaming, I need it yesterday, and I need it now, and you've got that there, that's quite powerful, mate. So
for sure.
You enjoying the personalities on the builders merchant counter and the builders merchant yard?
There's a fair range of personalities on a trade counter, but for sure, you meet lots of different people every day, and some of the conversations are quite interesting.
Similar on site, isn't it? The guys who work in the merchants are very similar to the guys we work with on site. So
that must really help, though.
It does help. And I tell you what, the merchant side of the industry, because we're from the construction industry, right? But then building materials side, the merchant side, it's a smaller segment, a smaller part of that broader industry, but everyone knows each other. It's real sort of close knit. But we've been accepted quite well. We're working with all these top merchants now, and it's nice of them to just sort of take you in and really make us part of it, haven't they? They have, really welcomed us.
But you are doing what suppliers and partners should do, because I used to talk to so many suppliers as a sales director, and you can come to our board meetings, you can impress me, you can show me your product, show me your solutions, but if you're not selling that through the region, if you're not selling that through the people that are customer facing, it falls down. And I think what I've seen you guys good at is that you will roll your sleeves up and you will go out there and talk to the person on the counter of that branch and the branch manager of that branch or the sales rep there, because they're actually your eyes and ears, and that they can help. You can help them by them being aware, but it is the boots on the ground mentality is going to help. Isn't it?
I think being 21st century 2025, I think a lot of things are done remotely now through Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, but it is harder to build that close personal relationship if you're doing it all through webcam and headsets and whatnot. If you're there face to face, boots on the ground, like you said, you can build that repertoire a lot easier, I think. For sure.
The other thing that helps as well is like I say, in the last one we told the story of me starting the business, just me on a bike in Dawes Road.
Great story.
Done a couple of years delivering. I was on the bike in the vans. Connor done a year in the van as well, off site. He'd done a year in the van, so he got to know the merchants from delivering. It also gets you a lot of respect across the drivers as well. I mentioned the amount of drivers we've got on now. The world still gets around that myself, business partners, Connor, that we all used to be van drivers. So it's about, you've got the respect from the merchants from being on site. You've got the respect from the van drivers because you've done a load of time in the van or on a bike, So, they're just as important as well, really, aren't they? Sort of getting that from the drivers.
It's really powerful to hear that, because I think actually that if the drivers trust you and you treat them fairly, it's all to play for, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
It's the other side of it where it falls down. So what's been the challenges, Jack? For you, Connor, you're right. You're sitting in the studio now. You're in a really good place. But what have been the challenges you've overcome to get there?
I mean, the fundraising wasn't easy, but we've now got quite a lot of credibility with, the fact that we've already got a load of investors on now. Some of the angel investors are real, significant figures. So there's that. But then the other thing that gives us the credibility is the merchants, the big businesses we're working with, Juice and Travis, SIG, Lords, MKM, all the rest of it. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge, though, getting in front of those people, the people at Juice and the decision makers and stuff like that. That's not easy. We're very fortunate. It's taken us years. Very fortunate we're now set up as a supplier with a lot of these guys. There's still, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot more out there as well. Loads. We've barely touched the sides, I guess. But it is just getting in the room with the right people, I'd say. And then, like I say, we're heading into another funding round. That's not going to be easy. Hopefully it'll be easier than the last one. But I'd say they're the biggest challenges. What would you say?
I suppose from a tech point of view, obviously when it was just Ruben on his own, it was when things were moving slower in that sense. It was mostly shift, and that was probably one of the biggest challenges we've overcome, going from essentially like shift vehicles only to a gig economy like model, where now we're capable of onboarding drivers anywhere in the country. How many drivers are we on now?
It's nearly it's like 1,700 or something like that. So we're onboarding them quickly. We built, Connor mentioned the software engineers originally. Again, one of my business partners, Ruben, he's a full stack engineer. To begin with, he was sort of picking away at it on his own. We've now got an in-house tech team off the back of the fundraise. Some top lead engineers. People from one of them from Stuart Delivery, the DPD group. Ocado Technologies. These guys are joining us now, like real key hires, and having that engineering power and good engineers is really helping.
But some of those brands you mentioned there, like for me, from the outside looking in, they're like the North Star of distribution. Do you know what I mean? I don't know their strengths and weaknesses, but I know the brand and I know what they do. So if you've got someone there who's come from the inside and they've helped create that's got to be quite powerful. It's
powerful, and it's also it's useful to know. They tell you the kind of metrics that those other businesses were tracking. Operational KPIs, even the financial metrics and things like that. So it's handy for that sort of stuff as well. We're very lucky to have people like that on the team now.
I think me and Jack, not being that way inclined, we're not very techie. We sometimes underestimate how long a project could take. But obviously now that the tech team is growing, we're seeing things moving like a lot quicker. The way recruitment's developed over the last 2 months.
Driver onboarding.
Driver onboarding's got so much smoother. One of our engineers, Tom, built an AI agent that can read documents and it will drag information out, and it just makes it there's less human interaction going into the actual recruitment process now. It just speeds things up massively. I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, isn't it, we've overcome.
And that's the thing, you hire them key lead engineers like these guys on big salaries, but in doing that, you're reducing your head office costs significantly, because that one engineer's built a feature, and to quantify how much that's helped us, before it would take a human to review 150 drivers, couple of weeks maybe. Now this AI tool's doing it like that, and it costs us 50p for every 150 drivers. So it just shows bringing all this sort of stuff in, you can get away with a far leaner team by software engineers.
Fair play. Fair play. I mean, it's the future. Whatever way you look at AI should be a part of everything we do.
It's only getting better as well, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I think I look at it, from the recruitment piece in a slightly different way, because I look at the where the positions and the appointments we're involved in. I look at the danger of that, and I see good people missing out because their CVs have been missed on AI because they don't necessarily read the right way, don't include the right words. So I think there's got to be a balance between human interaction, but for what you're doing at scale, it makes absolute sense to have that there, because if it's pulling the best people in and they're actually, from their side, if it's working for them quick as well, you're going to lock them in, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Because the biggest frustration for anyone I talk to in recruitment is time. It's applying for a position and not hearing back. It's being ghosted. It's not knowing where you stand. It's that uncertainty. And that uncertainty, if you need to work and you need income, or that uncertainty if you want to improve yourself, that affects everyone. And it dives into there, doesn't it?
And another example of it is this AI tool that we've got that sits behind our software, which merchants don't see, but we acquired an AI startup since the last podcast. It was 8 months ago or something like that. And what they were building was a route optimization tool.
Wow.
We were their design partner, and the founders had other opportunities. They went off to do other things, the great thing, really smart blokes. But because we were their design partner, we end up acquiring their technology. But what it does, it's not just like a normal route optimization tool where it's A, B, C, take this route. It does take into account, the weird and wonderful loads of construction as well, and the fact that sometimes this bigger item needs to come off before this, a ton of bricks on top of the plasterboard. You can't take the plasterboard off because the bricks are on top. So, we're training it to know all that sort of stuff as well.
It's smart as well.
Yeah, and it makes us a lot more efficient.
It's street smart. Street smart software. So it's actually navigating its way through the challenges of doing.
Exactly.
Because you're talking about multi-drop deliveries.
Multi-stop construction loads. It's messy.
That's the whole world. That's the whole world in itself, isn't it? The drivers I've spoken to over the years, do you know what I mean? The multi-drop element is something which is always crucial. They're either going to want to do it or they're not. I think it's. I always used to say, as a sales director and a sales manager, that you're only as good as your drivers, and your drivers are often the first and last thing that a customer sees to do with a business. Like your yard staff are. The people in the yard, that they're the first and last people that a customer sees on the journey. But that driver, as well as anything else, is an ambassador of the business. And
100%.
I go back to the happy old days when I used to jump in with a driver from Peckham, and we'd go around South East London together. And every time he was doing the delivery, I'd be hopping out the cab and talking to him on site, and what else you buying, who you dealing with, and stuff like that. And you get, like, from a BD perspective, the drivers from a merchant can open a lot of stuff up. They really can.
Connor mentioned a minute ago about the shift drivers and where we were moving over to that gig economy, and at first some merchants were like, oh, when you do this, what are these drivers going to be like? Because the gig thing has got quite a lot of negativity around it from the press with like Uber and whatnot, but these guys, it's been better because these guys are, it's like their own little business.
Jack, just do me a favour, just go back and just explain what that means to someone who may not know.
About the gig economy? Like, what is the gig economy?
Okay, I know, but let's just talk to. Let's imagine some of the listeners are not on board with that. So just explain that, and then why it's come up.
So the gig economy is self-employed. They call them owner drivers. Someone who owns the vehicle. They're working for themselves, and you pay them on a per drop basis rather than sticking someone in your own van on a day rate. The benefit of it is, you've got the elasticity of just tapping in and pulling in people really quickly. So your response time is like that because you've just always got to drive around the corner. If you have, again, we have seasonalities just like the merchants. When we're not as busy, we don't have loads of drivers sitting there. We can scale up and down quite easily. So it's crucial for us to be able to scale, and it's great for the merchants because it makes us super reactive. Okay. But then the bit I started getting into then about, but these gig drivers, what are they going to be like, and stuff like that. And, at first we weren't going to be entirely sure. But they're really good. And like I say, the reason is that van is their life, that's their little business. Okay. So if they start upsetting us, upsetting the merchants, we've got rating systems in as well. If a driver's bad, they just won't be on the platform, right? And there's a lot of checks they have to pass to get on there. Right to work in the UK, proof of address, proper goods in transit insurance, hire and reward. We really do check them. And it's their reputation on the line, so that, they've really got to act well in these yards. So it's been absolutely fine.
Fair play to you, mate. So you know what my nephew does, and you know who he does it for, and he started there as an apprentice and doing what he does. I understand that so much because he's like, Uncle Pete, I've got this going on. I'm like, whoa, slow down, talk a language I can understand. And then when I look at what he's managing, I'm like, fair play. Fair play. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember you saying
So I guess from your side, Connor, it's all go, isn't it?
It is very much so at the moment. Growth is definitely up high at the moment. So there's a lot of new merchants onboarded. We're really focusing on the Midlands at the moment. So we've been there for a while, haven't we? But we're really honing down on it now. Trying to build new merchant relationships with your Tippers and your EH Smiths. Some independent guys up there, and obviously the existing guys like your Travis Perkins, your Dewsons.
Quality guys.
Yeah, really moving at the minute. We're Surrey and Sussex is moving again. So definitely very busy at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, I've just been signalled. The bench is signalling me, mate. We're coming up to the end of the first half, so we're going to break now. When we come back from the break, we are going to get Charlotte involved with a little quick-fire quiz. I'm going to ask Connor a very, very important question, and then we're going to close things out with what's coming next. So thank you so much for listening. You enjoyed yourself?
Yeah.
Feeling all right now, Connor? No, you've got to go, mate. There's no stopping you. We'll see you after the break.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cheers.
When it comes to bricks, there's only one company to speak with. ET Clay have something for every brick project. With over 400 products across our 2 depots, we are the builder's merchant, brick merchant.
Welcome back to episode 4 of season 9 of the Foyne Jones Show. I'm going to come on to this a little bit later in the second half of this podcast, but I just want to say a massive thank you to David Blitz from our sponsors, ET Clay. Without David Blitz and ET Clay, we don't have a podcast, which means we don't have a studio, which means you guys can't come and spend a day at down in Sussex by the sea and go and walk on the pier, which I know you're doing afterwards. He's got his eye on 2 sticks of rock, mate. One for you and one for me. But, Connor, I'm going to hand the studio over to Charlotte, our head of content. She's got some questions she's prepared for you guys. But I've got a question for you, and I'm just going to say 2 words. Chelsea, why?
I'll preface this question by telling you that football is quite a taboo subject in my house.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, my dad's very pro-rugby and anti-football. Okay.
One of them.
One of them. My younger brother is not into. His name's Kieran. He's not into football at all.
Fan of the show?
Big time.
Big fan of the show. There you go. Right, Kieran, there you go.
But yeah, my older brother, he lives up in Keighley, like just near Leeds.
That sounds like a rugby league town.
He's a big football fan.
So is he? Okay.
Big Leeds football fan, yeah.
Well, they've got 3 football teams in Leeds, you know that, don't you? Leeds and Leeds.
Leeds and Leeds,
yeah.
Okay. When he come down, for to visit, whether it's Christmas time or whatever, he would try and put football on the telly, and my dad would
push back,
straight off, get out, sort of thing. So yeah,
good parenting. I should try that.
Football weren't pushed upon me as a kid, but what I did used to do, every boy plays football at school, didn't they? And I used to go to like the boot camps at summer holidays.
Yeah.
So I used to go with one of my old mates called Darryl. And he was a big Chelsea fan, so that's probably where I got Chelsea from.
Yeah. So you got it from your pals?
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean,
no Fulham fans hanging around at your school?
No, not so much. No, they prefer the other side of Fulham. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm a much bigger rugby fan. Yeah. I've been a season ticket holder at Harlequins since Quins since 2008.
Fair play.
So yeah, try and get there as much.
I do like the Stoop. I think it's a great little ground. I do. Yeah,
you've been there yourself?
Yeah, I've been there, mate, because my youngest, who's in the parachute regiment, was a very good rugby player. So he captained all his local clubs. He went to Sussex, number 8. Like he played quite a bit.
Big lad, number 8.
He's just a very strong lad. Hence his current employment. Do you know what I mean? But so I've never played. I'm going to be honest, never played. Watched it on the telly. Everyone cheers when Johnny Wilkinson put all of that. So I've been a spectator. But obviously watching Henry play, I became, me and Harry would be there, and like, we've come off the football pitch, he's been playing football. But watching him play and looking at the physicality, the contact, but also the maturity, how they were coached and how they approached the game, and the handshakes and that side of it.
Game,
without a doubt. I mean, he's savage though. Like, he's so brutal. Yeah. Like, I always say my definition of rugby, like football, is I want to trap the ball on my chest, I want to hit a little pass and run off and not get tackled. Where these boys are going full on, mate. So it's so I do admire it, but where we did used to go and watch, the clubs used to get, they'll get tickets to Twickenham when they get tickets for that. I used to enjoy Harlequin. I actually weirdly preferred the games I watched the Harlequins to the bigger events at Twickenham.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it was just weird, really.
Every season, Quins have a charity game, so at Christmas they call it the big game.
Yeah, I went to one of them one time. Yeah,
so
they have like double headers sometimes as well, don't they?
Double headers usually in the summer.
Is it?
It used to be what do they used to call it? The London. It was London something, and it used to be the 4 London teams. Yeah. There isn't 4 London teams in the Premiership anymore. What with Wasps gone, but yeah, I've been to every big game since they started. So it's always a good day out.
One of the things I did like about Twickenham is that you can carry on drinking all the way through the game, mate. There's no 5 minutes till kick-off and they start taking your drink away, mate. But again, a gentleman crowd, I guess. I think that's it. But all right, mate. Listen, you've passed the test. It was a very unfair question. It was in my notes. I was going to ask him. Jack stitched you up, mate. To be fair, because
to be fair, I'm Chelsea as well, but I don't.
Yeah, I know. But you got Fulham pals.
Yeah, I've got quite a few Fulham pals.
Yeah, you got Fulham pals because my eldest Harry knows quite a lot of them, mate. They've been home and away together for over the year. They've got a few stories, mate. We'll keep them. We'll keep them off the recording. We'll keep them off the recording. So, sorry, Charlie. I'm digressing. Look, Charlie's like, here he goes again. He's going to start talking about Fulham. He's going to talk about Ryan Sessegnon. Do you know what I mean? Mitro's on fire. I know. Those days are gone. Charlotte.
Yes.
Over to you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Charlotte's Quickfire Quiz. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. The first question is...
Sorry, Charlotte, are we both answering at the same time?
Yeah.
You go first, I'll go first?
Yeah, so what makes Tradeaze different from everyone else in the industry?
What makes us different? I think...
Oh, good question.
We're not a generalist courier, so we are very construction merchant specific. So we've got the heavy side vehicles. If you phone up, a City Sprint, they're not going to be able to take a ton of bricks in the back of their van. We've got the flatbeds, we've got the Luton vehicles with the tail lifts, and now that we've ventured into the HGV side as well, we're very well set up to service that side of the industry. We can do the heavy side, so that's one point I'd say. I'll let Jack give you another.
I'd say the agility of the tech team being in-house as well. So we mentioned the software engineers in-house. Some people build these tech companies and outsource it to consultancies, or they're using off-the-shelf transportation management systems or whatever. But where we've got them engineers literally in our office, they work all over the country, to be honest. We're very agile. So if a merchant needs something, when we can probably chat about the company-specific tweaks later on, but we get it in very, very quickly. Yeah. So I think, echo what Connor said, and then plus the agility of the tech.
Amazing. Shows why you guys are such a standout within this industry. Yeah. Second question is, what's one of your hobbies that you do outside of the business that helps you wind down after you've had a bit of a stressful day, stressful week, etc.?
For me, it's very simple, just going to the gym. So I try
we can tell. If you're watching this on YouTube, look at the boys. Definitely in the gym a lot.
I try to.
You including me in that lineup?
Okay. Big Pete.
You've got the running.
So I try to get to the gym, 4 or 5 times a week. Try to stay active, and I've got a marathon coming up May next year.
Go on,
May,
son.
April.
Promote
when
it.
Is it? April, May?
I don't know. I'm not running it with you, mate. Don't want to mate. But it's normally late April, early May.
It is late April, isn't it? Yeah. So I've not got long to train, so I need to get my bottom in gear.
Nice. Good luck.
Put the miles in, Connor. Put the miles in.
I'm the same as Connor. We actually go together.
That's nice.
I can't get away from him. Work and everything. We gym really. But I normally go in the mornings more than anything. I'm up I'm like a 5 a.m. man. Get
5 a.m. merchant.
I don't do
that. On the weekends we go together. In the week I'm up at 5. I'll go for a run on the treadmill or whatever, and then I'll be ready to work for 6:30, 7. Yeah.
Okay. Third question. Can you describe Tradeaze in 3 words?
It's normally the easiest to say Uber for construction, but
it's 3 words.
Yeah.
3 words.
Did you say 3 words?
3.
3, yeah. Uber for construction.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
No, if we said 2 then...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Uber for construction, yeah.
There you go.
I'll echo that point because it is bang on. We are Uber for construction,
Yeah, amazing.
Exactly what we are.
And the last question is, do you have a key memory to share with the listeners that you both have when working for Tradeaze? Building it up, anything?
Mine's driving into London in the pissing rain on a scooter when I was doing the deliveries. Wasn't good.
You come off a few times, haven't you?
I came off a few times as well. Yeah, I fell off quite a few times. Once was going through Putney High Street, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big load of leaves. Yeah, and I was on the scooter. I just went through all these leaves. I went absolutely flying. Scooter slide down the road in front of everyone. I just played it off. Just got up, just jumped back on it. So I made out like I was doing a cool skid.
Fair play, mate.
They're the memories that stick with me. The early days when it was literally brutal, like rain. You're on a bike. You're like, why am I doing this? So that's probably mine. Yeah.
How about you, Connor?
I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot.
While you're thinking, I can actually talk about... You just carry on thinking, Connor. I remember when I was 15, 16 years... I think I was 16, and I was in my last year at school in Fulham. Yeah. And and somehow I nagged my old granddad, and he got me like a little moped thing, and it was a Honda Vision, something like that, a little black and red thing, right? And I'm like, I've got it. So he's like just take it easy, just take your time. I'm like, yeah, no problem, put the L plates on. Had to do the CBT thing, to get... Off I went, straight down down Fulham Road, straight down to Bishop's Park where the school was, showing off in front of all the girls, skidded, fell over, done the side of it, done exactly the same as you. That's why I sort of just picked it up, thought it was going to be all right, and just came back, went like, yeah, you know your mate who's the mechanic, Granddad, like he's like, oh no, what have you done? I'm like, yeah, we need to get a little bit of it fixed. So I do know what it's like, mate. You do lose it on them, didn't you?
They're lethal, aren't they? Yeah. Especially London.
Yeah. Go on, mate.
So I'll probably keep it simple and say, obviously, you've got experience being a rep, Pete.
Loved it.
Not everyone's overly friendly when you knock on their door, are they? So I remember turning up to a certain merchant. It was probably my fault. I turned up at 4:30, so right before closing time. He was packing his laptop away, and I turned up and said, I'm from Tradeaze. We do this, that and the other. Are you interested? And he said, I haven't got time today, mate. I haven't got time. I said, mate, I know it's closing time. Can you give me 5 minutes? And fortunately he did. And I spent half hour with him. And he's now one of our biggest customers. So it always makes you feel like Superman when you leave.
Power of cold calls, mate. Power of being persistent, mate. And you can get 99 no's, but that one yes is what it's all about. I love being a rep. I still think I'm a rep now, to be honest.
Some of them maybe like some people are really nice, and you go in, they're really, really nice, and others it makes me laugh. They go, is the manager here? They go, he's absolutely up to his eyeballs. He's snowed under.
Snowed under.
And you already know what he looks like because you've checked him on LinkedIn or something. You can see him over in the corner. He's on his phone, just sitting there,
eating a sausage sandwich.
But he doesn't look very snowed under.
It's that balance between saying don't like, it's just how you overcome that. Overcoming objections, mate. It's all part of the fun, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. They probably get so many people coming in, and you don't have time to talk to everyone. At least
it's quality,
anyway.
mate. It's quality. Yeah. I love the builders merchant game, and it's great to get some guests in the studio that are supplying the industry and dealing with different challenges, because actually we've had lots of manufacturers in that sell, and their products are displayed, their products are merchandised, their products are they're specified, they're sold. Actually having someone that's providing a service, which is so important, it's so important, it's really powerful. And Charlotte, well done.
Thanks guys for answering my question.
This is my favourite part of the podcast now, just to see what research you've done beforehand. You know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant. All right, so we'll move on, and this is something which has been consistent through the series. I haven't shared mine yet, and I'm holding it back to the very last episode.
The final.
Yeah, final episode. But we're asking our guests to share their dream dinner guests, right? So they can be fit, they can be from history, they can be right now, they can be past or present. But if we were having a Tradeaze dinner party, and there was me and you guys, because I'm inviting myself, by the way, you want to come, Charlotte? We're going.
I would love to come.
So let's just say there's all of us here. We have three more seats at the table. Who would be joining us from history, from now? Who would be your dream dinner guests?
I don't really get starstruck by celebrities, so I'm not like, oh wow, there's so and so. So I'd have to make it educational, probably. So I'd probably go for Elon Musk, because why not? He's biggest entrepreneur in the world. And then probably one more business one, that'd be Warren Buffett, because he's got the investment expertise, and I quite like that side of things, and potentially invest in myself one day when I can afford it. So those two, and then probably someone like Winston Churchill, good leader, some probably very good stories, I'd have thought. So I'd say them three for me.
Fair play, mate. Yeah. Fair play. And any you're going to fight for them chairs, mate? You know what I mean? They're still there. Who are you putting forward?
I would have to. I know Jack's gone a bit boring, keeping it very business.
Winston Churchill's not boring.
No. I'll take Winston at the table. Yeah, for sure. Probably Martin Johnson of the 2003 England World Cup.
He's going down the rugby route. There you go. Inspirational captain.
I'm sure he'll be able to
leader
give some
of
insight.
Men as well.
Leader. That's what I was going to say. He gives some insight and some leadership values for sure. I'd probably go for Peter Jones, but the one off Dragon's Den.
Don't know him. Don't know him.
The real one.
The real one.
Oh, he's jealous.
Edit out. Who just woke up? Who just woke up in the corner? Yeah, some geezer from Dragon's Den. Who's the first?
Yeah. And maybe a bit of music for post-dessert.
Solid Crew?
Bit of Bob Marley, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair play,
that's
mate. So he's bringing Bob, some bloke from Dragon's Den, and the England captain. You're bringing Elon, Warren, and Sir Winston.
Yeah.
We're going to need a bigger table. All right, okay, let's move on. Thank you so much. It's a bit of fun, that is, but it's great just to see how the minds work. There you've got business mind. There you've got coaching, leadership and chilling out. And I think together it's great to get your personalities coming through. So a couple of things to mention. One of the things I want to make sure we bring up in every episode, and just sobering things down a little bit now, is the importance of mental health. We talk about resilience in job seeking. We talk about people that are in difficult positions. Mental health is, and men's mental health in particular, is something very, very close to my heart. I've raised money over the years for Calm, the campaign against living miserably, and Andy's Man Club, and also a local charity, Balls for Brains. I think no one sitting in the studio and no one wouldn't be able to say they've not been aware of what happened to Ricky Hatton. Losing him was bad enough. Reading the circumstances of that loss was absolutely heartbreaking. And I think that in every episode I want to make sure we do talk about the importance of mental health. If you're struggling, if you're feeling down, if you need support, there are people you can talk to. You can reach out to organisations like the ones I mentioned. You can reach out to your friends. You can reach out to your family, because actually you should never be in that darker place. And I want to make that something we talk about, and just give our loves, thoughts, and best wishes to everyone close to and connected to Ricky Hatton, because I've seen him fight. I've met him. Or I met him. I don't think he would have remembered him, but I met him after a Manchester City. Well, they absolutely destroyed Fulham Football Club, 5-0, 6-0, don't know, they kept scoring. But they absolutely destroyed us. I bumped into him in a hotel bar, and he was an absolute gentleman. He spoke to my kids, he stopped for photos, he stopped what he was doing to say hello, and to see a great champion suffer so much was absolutely heartbroking. So
I stayed up late for a few of his fights many years ago. He seemed like a real nice chap, always full of jokes. Very sad what happened. Yeah, and and it's not, there's others. It's not just Andy's Man Club. It's not just Calm. There's Samaritans. There's so many charities out there for people to reach out to if they're struggling. So just wanted to put that in. So I know that's brought things down somewhat, but talking more positively, let's talk about what's next for Tradeaze. Jack, this is your moment. This is we're bringing the podcast to an end, but you spoke about some exciting developments. What's the future look like for you?
Yeah, so we're now to help you understand, right now the way people book a Tradeaze delivery is the guys in the merchants, they go on our web app, they upload the products, or the product dimensions, all the rest of it, and then it goes out there to our courier network. So that's one sales channel there, and that's sort of guys just manually booking it on our app. We've now brought in, or bringing in, another sales channel, which is the e-commerce integrations. So we've got a few going live within the next few weeks, couple of months. I won't mention who they are. They haven't said not to, but they probably want to market it themselves. And what that means is people will be able to go on the merchants' websites, and upon checkout, they can either check out and get the delivery, the standard merchant delivery, whenever that is. Or they can opt for Tradeaze delivery at checkout, and it'll pull through our dynamic fee. So say, free delivery with a merchant, or 45 quid if you want it in 2 hours. And that's, the merchant still owning their customer. And I think consumers now in general are used to having things now, like with Amazon Prime. So they expect their building materials now, and they expect that on the merchant's e-commerce, I'd say. And right now we stand out as the only real provider to fulfil that. Connor mentioned earlier about a load of USPs from being construction specific. So, they could sign up with a generalist, but there's going to be a lot of rejections. Vehicle's not big enough, or all the rest of it. So where we've, again, got that side of it and the tech ability to integrate, we can integrate with them very quickly. And it's another sales channel for them as well, right? And I think that builders, I think I saw a stat the other day, it's about 60% of builders say they order online now. They order both online and by calling the merchant. 40% who don't order online at all. But that number's increasing. So we're sitting at the forefront of that.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah. Fantastic. But that, enabling your customer's customer to select your service and to use what you guys said earlier, to Tradeaze it. Yeah. I don't think that's ever changed, mate. Back in my younger days, and back in all of my merchant days, when we had 2 or 3 wagons in a branch, everyone wanted first delivery. Everyone wanted first drop. I don't know how many times I promised, I'm sorry if you're listening, but I don't know how many times I promised first drop to every single customer I spoke to, but I knew only 2 or 3 of them were going to get the first load, let alone the first drop. But it was to be expected. But now, you know, the new generations coming through, I think it's really important what you're saying there. They're not scared of actually managing or thinking about, all right, so it's an additional cost, but what's that going to save us?
Yeah.
You know, because let's be honest, the world of construction at best can be disorganised. On site, it can be absolute chaos.
Yeah.
You know, it can be organised chaos, it can be disruptive chaos, but it is there. And I think, you know, going back to that word disruption, what you've achieved from when we last spoke, or from the beginning to what we last spoke to where we are now, you are disrupting, you know, logistics in the construction supplies industry, and you should be fucking proud of that, because it's making a hell of a difference.
Yeah. We're super proud. You know, proud the whole team doing. You know, Connor. Absolutely smashing it with onboarding all these merchants.
I know some of your merchant customers. I know, like, the key stakeholders, like the people whose money it is, the people who've got real skin in the game, and they are singing your praises.
Yeah.
So if they're talking positively and you're getting them wanting more of it, you know, you could be sitting at that dinner table with Elon, mate. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Excellent, mate. So you enjoyed yourself today?
100%.
Yeah, it's been good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, good. I know we were nervous walking up the stairs. We have two objectives at the Foyne Jones Show. Charlie knows this. Charlotte's learning it. Is that we warm you up in the green room or the coffee shop area to get you walking up the stairs and into the studio with smiles on your faces. When we leave and you're going back to your white van, which I think is quality, do you know what I mean? 'Cause you are living the dream. When you're going back to the van and he's out doing his calls, where are you off to? You going calls with him? Or?
Well, I was meant to drive down separately.
Was you? But you just can't be separated, you two, can you?
What it was is I got in last night and I saw a tax letter and it's like vehicle tax.
Yeah.
And I was like, our car isn't taxed. I was like, so I couldn't drive down. So I called Connor last night. I was like, mate, I've got to come with you. Car's not taxed and it's not MOT'd either.
Well done, mate. Good work.
So I couldn't even tax it because I didn't
I've
have
kept
the
that
MOT.
quiet running the logistics company.
Well, it's a personal car, to be honest. I don't even use anymore because I'm always up on the train up to London. So it's like I might not drive it for a week, and then I came to it. Oh, great! Can't even drive it anyway. So I had to jump in with Connor. So I'm going to park myself in like a coffee shop. I've got a few hours work to do.
Well, mate.
I've been bit the past couple of days. I haven't had much time on my laptop because I've been out active. So I could do a few hours catching up.
Well, whatever you're up to, I hope you have fun, and thank you so much for coming down. Thanks for being part of the Foyne Jones Show. We're nothing without our guests, and we're nothing without our sponsors. Final thing for me today is, you can see I've got one on. The Royal British Legion launched their Poppy Appeal officially yesterday, so it's in its early stages. If you haven't seen it already, please watch their video. It's called On Our Street, and if it doesn't bring a tear to your eye talking about some of the challenges that veterans face, nothing will. Wear your poppy with pride. It shows you care. We're the Foyne Jones Show. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time, where we're welcoming Cole, the founder and director of Payless Builders Merchants. Let's go to work. Always a pleasure.